if you're watching this, your energy has already shifted. You've entered into a higher vibration. And this message is the confirmation your soul has been waiting for. You have been wanting somebody to confirm for you whether or not you have been shifting fully into your true, authentic self, into the higher vibrations, into the frequencies of manifestation, of love, of joy. And you're wondering, am I there yet or not? Well, we don't truly have to wonder about this, because the minute we question ourselves is the minute that we can begin to realize that our vibration then begins to shift. And when our vibration begins to shift, we begin to teeter-totter, right? And we can either shift back into the lower vibrations, or we can shift into the higher vibrations, right? And so in order to stay into the higher vibrations, and in knowing that we have shifted into this higher states of consciousness, into Christ consciousness, into a level of being in alignment with who we truly are, there are some signs that we can look for. And when we kind of move through this and ebb and flow through this thing that we call life, we can begin to really look at everything and have no attachment to it anymore. We are no longer attached to the things that we once found value in the old reality, into the old 3D manifestation that we thought was important. We have to remember that the old world, is beginning to fall away. Okay, we are no longer confining or squeezing into the constructs and societal norms that were once part of the earth. And instead, we're shifting into something more of value, something more authentic, something more true to who we are. And so when we realize we're detaching, that's a really good sign that we are shifting and moving into a higher vibration. And another thing that begins to happen is that old patterns and relationships are starting to fall away. I don't know about you, but that for me has been a constant now for quite a few years, where everything is starting to fall away. Things that I once thought were very important in this reality tend to not be important anymore. Like climbing the corporate ladder for me was very important for many years. I wanted to be the top dog in food and beverage. Like, I didn't care. I wanted to be a director of food and beverage very badly. And I was on the trajectory to do that. But in that, I lost myself. And I lost many things that were important to me. And I began to really become sensitive more to my environment. I don't know if you've noticed that, right? Where I couldn't really be in food and beverage anymore because it was noisy and it was just a lot of drama. There's a lot of people. Environment was insane. And maybe you feel that. Maybe the people that you're surrounded with right now are just filled with like drama and filled with like lower vibrational feelings. And you're realizing that you are no longer really fitting into that mold that you once were, to where you feel like, ah, I used to love the tea. I had to know everything. I mean, geez, I used to be like that too. Like, let's be real. I had to know what was going down, okay? I had to know the tea about everybody at work. I was one of those people, and I started falling back from that. And then I realized that the people that I surrounded myself with were just a bunch of noise. And then those people started to fall away naturally out of my life. And the people that really mattered stayed around, and we don't really do that, right? We're into raising our vibration, we're into bettering ourselves, and we're into becoming more in alignment of who we truly are. So, like, because of that, because we're drawn, I've been drawn to that, and I don't know about you, you're going to be drawn to new experiences, new spiritual practices, maybe like meditation or yoga or becoming a shaman or becoming a Reiki master, whatever it is for you, you're beginning to move into kind of those modalities in your life. Of course, with no attachment, because nothing's more scary than a spiritual ego. And when we have that non-attachment and begin to move into those new ways of kind of being, life becomes very magical, and synchronicities are out of this world, right? Like every time you turn around, there is deja vu, there's a synchronicity happening, there's this weird kind of energy happening, right? There can be times where you kind of think about somebody and they call you or they show up at the same store as you. And it's just very cool how when we begin to shift, how magical and beautiful our reality can really be. Because when we come into vibrations of love, of joy, of happiness, that may sound like, ugh, but that's the way we're supposed to be as human beings. Human beings are not meant to feel these lower vibrational energies at all times. We're not meant to be depressed, have anxiety on the daily, live in fear, be angry, be irritated by all the things that are happening in the world, because we're in such a reactive state. And when we're in this reactive state, we can't really shift our energy, right? And so you're beginning to notice, maybe for you, that those old energies are beginning to fall away. And it feels very good, because for the first time in your life, you are beginning to breathe. Your heart chakra may be beginning to explode. Your third eye, your crown, they're all just going crazy. Like all the chakras are beginning to align everywhere. And your emotional body is becoming less of an attachment to you. It still exists. And I don't want to say that on our spiritual journey, it's all like daisies and rainbows. Life still happens. Things can still kind of come into your reality and shake things up a little bit. But it's how we react to that we see how much we really have shifted in our life, right? We can see that even though things may seem unstable, we can kind of take that as a test from the universe. And we can kind of say, okay, I see this kind of coming in, and I'm not going to react to it this time. And instead, I'm just going to continue to be in these higher vibration and higher frequencies, and I'm not going to dive down deep into those other emotions, because the emotions will come up. It is only natural. We are human beings. Being angry, being scared, having some fear, that will come up. There's no doubt about it. But we aren't attaching to the story that comes along with it, right? So it feels pretty good, right? Because we're feeling these new way of being. A lot of us are shifting right now. A lot of the human unconsciousness and consciousness, we're like moving and we're shifting in such, and the pendulum's swinging this way, right? And we're kind of moving upwards up the hill, and we're becoming into who we really are. And we now have to be really intentional of how we live our lives, because now that you have shifted, you are conscious now, and you know that. So how are you going to be in this new reality? How are you co-creating the reality that you're living in? How are you being intentional about your everyday life, right? Are we meditating? Are we operating in the heart space? Are we being a human being that's being in service to others and bringing in this new beautiful earth and this light, and really anchoring it in and anchoring in our authentic self so that we can spread that light onto others, so that we can shine so bright that others now feel it and have to wake up themselves. And maybe that will irritate the hell out of somebody. And that's okay too, that somebody's going to be irritated by your light, but you're going to keep shining because you don't care what they think. They're just a reflection of you. Remember, they're just a reflection of the unconscious collective. Okay. And so we can't pay attention to that. Instead, we're going to pay attention to our own energy. How are we feeling? How are we doing? And how are we showing up as the powerful co-creator that we are? So I just want to thank everybody. Thank you for all the new subscribers. It's truly amazing. All the likes, this beautiful comments that I've been receiving lately. And I just truly appreciate it, because I feel like we're really building an amazing community. And I love it. And I love that these videos are reaching you, and that they're helping you. And very soon I'm coming out with a free meditation where we are going to anchor in our new life as a powerful co-creator and how it is stepping into your power. And I'm hoping to release that very soon here, as well as offering my services very soon. I should have some openings. All right, everybody, you take care.